Oleksa Drachewych, Assistant Professor, Department of History at King's University College and Western University, joins us now. Professor, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, actually, for having me on.
So, you've been very patiently waiting, so appreciate that again. And let's just start with your views and analysis of the situation in Russia. A lot of words floating around describing this moment.
Mhm. Yes, so there's a lot of sort of people are trying to figure out what's happening, and I think one of the things we need to sort of be careful here is there's a lot of noise. Even in the time that I've been waiting to come on, there are now reports that Prigozhin might now be turning around and that some negotiations have happened. The fact is, this is all moving very quickly. We went from Prigozhin making a lot of statements last night, at least our time, to taking then Rostov-on-Don. And then we start to then see later on when Putin, in a very, very blunt 5-minute speech, declaring him as treasonous and that decisive measures will be taken. And all of this is unfolding. And while all of this was happening, the reports of Wagner forces moving towards Moscow seemingly not stopped. There was a lot of moving parts to this, and it was uh, sort of very shocking to see it play out all in sort of real time. There were always some rumblings that there might be some splintering happening, that Prigozhin was having issues with Shoigu, but for it to also happen like this and so rapidly was a bit surprising. And again, things keep moving and keep changing, so who knows what will happen in the next 24 hours.
Indeed, it's happening so quickly. In fact, before coming to you, even we were catching up on some details that do refer to the fact that maybe Wagner is turning back. But of course, we'll wait for confirmation to come our
Yes.
way. But amidst all of this, I just want to understand, how do you see Putin's standing in all of this? The fact that Wagner mercenaries were heading towards Moscow, even if they were turning back, what does it say about Putin at the moment?
This is I can't see a way that this makes Putin look good. Ultimately, he had to basically break into programming, which, but that was also a jarring scene last night, where most Russian state programming was just business as usual before then breaking into his short speech. There's really no way he looks good in this. One of the big questions coming out of this is if there is in any way some negotiated solution where it does not continue to devolve into rebellion and civil war, is what's going to happen to Shoigu, what's going to happen to Gerasimov. The fact is that Prigozhin really took issue with the military leaders in Russia. So the natural sort of end game for Prigozhin was that he wanted to perhaps be in charge of the military efforts, and that would require Putin to remove some loyalists, and then that would send another message to all of the other loyalists, where there'd be a trickle down effect. The fact is that even that we didn't see too many people saying too much in the last 8 hours or so in terms of notable elites, notable political leaders. A lot of them were being very quiet.
Yes.
It's a very sort of noteworthy show of that perhaps Putin's control is weakening significantly.
Indeed. And the fact that, like you're mentioning, Putin himself had to come on television, address the nation, is a very, very big deal within Russia for 5 minutes, directly talking about Wagner, of course, the group that has helped him where the war is concerned. Speaking of which, uh, do you believe this episode could have any sort of implications where the war in Ukraine is concerned?
I think very significantly. We're already hearing reports, again, unconfirmed at this point, of Chechen soldiers, for example, moving to Rostov-on-Don to potentially check the Wagner forces there. Obviously, Wagner forces are not in Ukraine. They're involved in this attempted rebellion, and all of that will have trickle-down effects in Ukraine. One would hope that Ukrainian forces are taking advantage of the fact that there are now significant forces that are now being either moved or now perhaps waiting other orders while all of this is happening. This is at the very least a significant distraction for Russia, but this is going to have probably notable positive effects as Ukraine continues its counteroffensive.
Well, like we've said this many times, of course, it's a fast developing story, lots of information that is coming in. We're keeping a close eye, and we appreciate you joining us and breaking it all down as, of course, things continue to develop. Oleksa Drachewych, Assistant Professor, Department of History at King's University College and Western University, thank you for your time.